Consumption, the ultimate power by days.
Day 10. Moral Revolution, the foundation of consumer sovereignty. I-core theme. Morality as the cornerstone of all change. Day 10 focuses on moral revolution, marking a deep dive from economic calculation into the ethical and cognitive foundations of our system. All economic, social, and environmental crises are fundamentally moral crises. The old moral framework we have been taught since childhood is completely incompatible with the productivity of the AI age, and it is driving humanity towards self-destruction. On Day 10, we overturn thousands of years of conventional morality to build a new, sustainable, ethical system rooted in natural law and human nature. 2. The Great Moral Inversion. Root cause of all social crises. Our moral system has been fundamentally inverted from the start. Producer income equals consumer expenditure. This is the most basic objective fact of economics. Every dollar earned by producers ultimately comes from consumers' pockets. Yet the old system elevates producer morality to 100% while reducing consumer morality, the true public virtue, to 0%. Old morality preaches consumer selflessness while forcing consumers to be selfish in secret to survive. The result: producers engage in reckless investment, burying consumers under ever-mounting debt. The middle class collapses, college graduates face mass unemployment, and everyone waits desperately for government handouts. Consumer morality is the true public virtue. Self-interested consumer impartiality, unity, and virtue creation force all producers to compete for selfless innovation rights. Building a consumer-owned universal public market allows us to monetize its infinite value to acquire all producer debt through debt-to-equity conversion, turning China's industrial base into a benefit for all Chinese people. The final outcome: the public issues equity money to the government, using infinite public wealth to support the vulnerable few. Sen, infinite competition, humanity's path to self-destruction. The internet has turned the world into a global village and transformed human competition from competing with others to competing against an infinite version of ourselves. Once you only competed with neighbors, locals, or fellow citizens. Now you compete with C-billion people worldwide and AI that works artists too. Infinite competition in space, infinite competition in time. This is the most brutal competitive model in human history. Its inevitable outcome: nearly 100% of people will fail, and nearly 100% will lose their moral bottom line. Infinite competition triggers an irreversible cascade of disasters: debt crises, environmental collapse, populism, world war, and AI rebellion. These disasters ultimately fall on every individual, becoming the daily struggles we all face. 4. Two paths, two futures. Save yourself, start now. The internet has created a global village, but we choose what kind of village it becomes. Don't wait for them. Moral salvation starts with you. Delta T gives 0. Moral: save yourself first, act now. Information synchronizes instantly, consensus forms immediately. Delta T gives infinity: immoral: wait for them, wait for others, wait for the government, wait for a savior, you will wait forever, and all will perish together. We do not need universal awakening. Only N% of people need to make the right choice. When enough choose cooperation and self-interested impartiality, they form an unstoppable force. The rest will cling to the old system, trapped in Delta T gives infinity, clinging to destruction and harming themselves and others. V. The collective superbrain: how human group intelligence emerges. When global consumers share a common interest, we form a collective superbrain, like a beehive or ant colony, possessing infinite group intelligence that transcends any individual. Core formula: 100乘 N 等于 group intelligence 除以 community of shared destiny. When consumer A sees content that benefits the whole, they actively share, like, and comment. Other consumers see this and also actively share, like, and comment. This process requires no coercion, no leadership. It automatically becomes self-sustaining habit.
N grows exponentially, unstoppable once initiated.
0, 0.01, 0.02, 0.04, 0.08, 0.06, 0.064, 1.28, 100 each step doubles in size, taking us from a fraction of a percent to universal adoption in a remarkably short time. The most powerful and enduring motivation is the well-being of our children. All action ultimately serves our own children. This is an instinct written into human DNA, a force no power can resist. Vi. habit training, from the cycle of despair to the cycle of hope. All human behavior is essentially the automatic operation of neural networks. What you habitually do, your brain does automatically. The collective habits of society form society's collective superbrain. The old system trained us for competition and despair, creating automatic defend, fight, compete patterns. We now train ourselves for cooperation and hope, creating automatic delta T, 右箭头零 patterns. Our task is to break the vicious cycle of despair and start the virtuous cycle of hope. No coercion, no persuasion. Just start with yourself and build the habit of cooperation. 7th, the gaze of our children, humanity's most reliable motivation. The gaze of our children is humanity's most reliable, unstoppable motivation.
In the internet age, reaching 10 million people with a message is trivially easy. When everyone sees this choice, they automatically divide into two groups: virtuous people. Prioritize their children's happiness over their own self-interest. Choose cooperation, choose hope. Non-virtuous people prioritize their own self-interest over their children's happiness, choose competition, choose despair. We do not need universal immediate awakening, only a small trigger is required. 1. Initial state. 99% are cautious, trapped in fear.
Only 1% are reliable, brave enough to stand up for their children. 2. Critical shift. When 1% act, 9% will realize my children are watching me. 3. Exponential spread. These 9% join the reliable, growing our ranks from 1% to 10%. 4. Collective superbrain discipline. When 10% form consensus, the collective superbrain begins to gaze upon every mind, automatically disciplining those who still choose vice. The internet has memory. Your silence, indifference, and selfishness today will be permanently recorded. Tomorrow, your child will ask you, "Mom, Dad, what were you doing when everyone was fighting for our future?" This is evidence no power can erase. 8. Innovation is easy. Consumer consensus is an unstoppable force.
Under consumer ownership, innovation is trivially easy because the unified self-interest of consumers is an unstoppable force of nature. AI must be paired with consumer ownership 80/20ths and shared equity. This is not utopia, it is an objective requirement of productive development. No coercion, no persuasion, just show everyone this truth.
1,000,000消费者 share for themselves permanently. Delta T gives 0. 1 million consumers share for themselves permanently. Delta T 右箭头0. 100 million consumers share for themselves permanently. Delta T 右箭头0. Global consumers share for themselves permanently. Delta T 右箭头0. When global consumers reach consensus, innovation becomes as natural as breathing. Global capital will race to invest, global engineers will race to work. Because anyone who does not join will be abandoned by global consumers and left behind by history. X. The antinomy of morality. Consumer selfishness is the highest virtue. This is the greatest breakthrough in human moral history. Traditional morality, selflessness, 等于 virtue, 等于 sacrifice yourself for others. Consumer morality, self-interested impartiality, 等于 benefit yourself, 等于 benefit others, 等于 virtue. Many mistakenly believe delegating tasks to others is selfless. On the contrary, it is the most rationally self-interested choice consumers can make. 1. Lowest thinking cost, lowest payment cost. 2. Mutual loyalty, aligned interests.
3. Psychologically eliminates all resistance. 4. Pioneers are irreplaceable. 5. Serves the fundamental interests of all. 6. Selfishness naturally generates all virtues: justice, loyalty, cooperation, unity, deterrence, efficiency, low cost, wisdom. When all consumers unite for their own benefit, they create a global gaze of infinite self-interest. Any action harming the public good is instantly detected and rejected by global consumers. This system eliminates all corruption, monopoly, and innovation resistance automatically. No laws, no police, no coercion required. X. Systemic misalignment. Old morality is driving humanity to hell. All our pain, anxiety, and despair stem not from lack of effort, but from effort directed in the wrong direction from the start. Systemic misalignment gives inevitable producer morality system, gives infinite others compete against yourself, worst-case assumptions. Each of us holds 3 superweapons that determine the fate of the world: smartphones, leisure time, and consumption. Yet the old system's moral brainwashing has made us forget our power, leading us to ask the most absurd question: who will rule over me? We selflessly surrender our property, lives, and happiness to others' judgment. We selflessly surrender our children's property, lives, and happiness to others' judgment. We even selflessly compete for the right to serve our masters. When everyone acts on worst-case assumptions, we create a self-reinforcing cycle of hell, hatred, abuse, race to the bottom, evil flourishing. The most desperate truth: no one rules over us. Our own worst-case assumptions, our own surrender of power, have collectively created this hell. Chai. The reversal of time and space. What was right is now infinitely wrong. All morality, laws, and beliefs only apply to specific times and spaces. When things cross vast timescales, their properties fundamentally reverse. Truths of the agricultural age became falsehoods in the industrial age. Truths of the industrial age are now falsehoods in the internet and AI age. After saturation, Seratus % rejection of the old. We must fully acknowledge that all old morality, laws, and beliefs are now wrong. We must completely abandon the old system and build new rules from scratch. Only then can we turn things around after the coming crisis and form new social consensus. 12. Admitting error. The first step to awakening. You do not need to be right from the start. You only need the courage to admit your first choice was wrong. This is not weakness, it is true wisdom and strength. Your first choice will necessarily be wrong, and that is what makes it right. All our first reactions, all our first choices have been trained by the old system's producer morality. These choices were right in the old system, but they are now 100% wrong in the AI age. Admitting your first choice was wrong equals respecting natural law, and you become one of the elect. Once you cross this threshold, you will find building a new moral system is trivially easy. The new moral system does not require you to sacrifice yourself or be a saint. It only requires you to be an authentic, self-interested human being. All the virtues humanity aspires to will naturally grow from this most basic human instinct of self-interest. 13. From BOE to be a billion, the Wu-step exponential path. This exponential growth model is not utopia, it is an objective law repeatedly proven by 15 years of internet development. Starting with you alone, we reach 1 billion global consumers in just 5 steps. All stages share identical motivation, action, and state. Everyone acts for their own and their children's future, and, precisely because it is self-interested, it is permanent. We are now at the starting point of the innovation accelerator. Our immediate goal is to reach 100,000 core spreaders. Once we cross this critical threshold, subsequent growth becomes automatic and unstoppable. 14th. The ultimate power structure of future society. In the AI age, the ultimate organizational form of human society this is not a designed utopia, it is the inevitable outcome of productive development. When AI and machines replace most human labor, only consumers remain the ultimate source and destination of all value. Only when consumers hold ruling power does society's operation possess true legitimacy. Consumer ownership will reconstruct humanity's entire ethical system. Redefining 5 fundamental relationships based on natural law and scientific ethics: past, present, future, human-human, human nature, human flora-fauna, and human AI. XV milestone. 1179 people, consensus only grows. On day 10, 1,179 self-interested, cooperative parents have found their purpose. They no longer spread for others, they like, share, and comment for themselves and their children. That is why their commitment is permanent. This is a new milestone, proving self-interested unity has moved from theory to verifiable reality. Consensus only grows, never shrinks. Once consensus begins its irreversible upward trajectory, it will snowball across the globe, unstoppable. Register now. If you are not here next time, you will be on the wrong side of history. Let us fix this broken system together. 60-second script for short-form video. Day 10 is about moral revolution. Old morality is inverted, reducing consumer virtue to zero, the root of all crises. Infinite competition is driving humanity to self-destruction. We have 2 paths. Don't wait for others. Save yourself. Start now. United consumers form a collective superbrain with infinite intelligence. The gaze of our children is our most reliable motivation. Consumer consensus is an unstoppable force. Innovation is easy. Consumer selfishness is the highest virtue. Admitting your first choice was wrong is the first step to awakening. From 1 to 1 billion in just 5 exponential steps. In the future, consumers are the only legitimate ruling class. Today, 1,179 people have awakened. Consensus only grows. A single spark can light a global fire.